common consensus on the Millennium Falcon ride that is in both Disneyland and Disney World seems to be that it's really fun your first time, especially if you're a pilot and especially if you are a big Star Wars fan. But for annual pass holders or anyone that's been on the ride more than once, it kind of loses its luster pretty fast. On one hand, it is really similar to Star Tours. It's a simulator ride that is Star Wars. It's just interactive, which I think takes away from the experience. I mean, I think Star Tours is a much better ride than Smuggler's Run, all told. I think common complaints are that the ride is really boring if you're not a pilot. If you're a gunner and an engineer, if you're a gunner, you're just slamming the same button the whole time. And if you're an engineer, you're basically doing butt-ass nothing. And also the fact that if you're not a pilot, your controls are to your left or right, depending on what side of the cockpit you're on. Like, so then you're not even looking at the visuals, you're looking at the goddamn buttons. And it's fun to press the buttons, but like, Jesus Christ, you know? Another issue is that, you know, Galaxy's Edge was originally set in between Episode 8 and Episode 9. So Han Solo's fucking dead. Sorry, spoilers. So you don't even get to hang out with Han Solo on the Millennium Falcon. And on top of that, you're like going to some random ass planet, I think it's from Solo originally, and getting coaxium, which no one knows what that fucking is. It's all just based on Solo, which is not a good movie. Or one that many people went to watch. So I think Disney saw that this ride was dwindling in popularity. I mean, this ride does not really get a line except on the busiest of days. And saw that they had this Mandalorian and Grogu movie coming out, which I'm seeing tonight, but I'm expecting it to be ass. And they said, all right, let's spruce this baby up. Let's get it back into gear. I'm not huge on Mandalorian and Baby Yoda anymore, but there's no denying that Baby Yoda is an extremely popular character, and the Mandalorian is there too, and he's played by Mr. Pedro, who is, of course, a massive heartthrob. So this seems like a slam dunk. And honestly, there's a lot of issues with the ride that can't be fixed just by changing what's on the screens, but the improvement is pretty vast, honestly. So I went to Disney yesterday with my only intention really being to get on this ride and check it out, see if it's an improvement or if it was somehow worse or what it was. I pulled up, I had my fucking, mini Oreos from 7-Eleven on the way down, parked at the Fullerton Park and Ride, fun little tip. If you just park there, you can take a bus to Disney, and then that's like $2, and parking at Disney is $35 or something insane like that, which I just on principle refuse to pay that much for parking. Regardless, Disneyland was looking as cute as ever, and I walked straight to Galaxy's Edge. Of course, there is a single rider line, and I was alone, but I wasn't sure if there were any differences in the pre-show, so I went ahead and stuck out a 30-minute wait. Really not that bad. I just was like listening to a podcast in the Millennium Falcon hangar or whatever. Millennium Falcon looks great from all angles, of course. That's never been an issue. I mean, the exterior is pretty jaw-dropping. Pretty much anyone can agree on that. So the pre-show, here's the thing. I wasn't sure if it was different or not. Went in, didn't notice any differences. Googled it later. Apparently there's differences. They changed it so that the pre-show is kind of one size fits all, doesn't include any specific references to time period or anything, so it can just be this, and then they can change it to whatever time period, it doesn't matter. But I did not notice shit. This has never been a ride I go on that much, so I probably, a difference that small, I wasn't going to notice anything unless it was big, Anyway, so yeah, waited 30 minutes to see the pre-show that was different, but I didn't even notice it was different. Got in line, got up there, explored the lobby, of course. The first time you ride it, you're like, whoa, and then you're there after like the 10th time, you're like, this is like a studio apartment that they've got going on right now. Anyway, got in. I believe the first time I got Gunner, I didn't know anything about the changes, really, other than it was Mandalorian and Grogu themed, so I just went in there. Basically, the way it works now, you start off, you're on Tatooine, chasing these 3 dudes, and then Grogu does something fucking stupid, and like mashes a button or like force levitates a fucking cookie or something, and then they all split up. The 3 guys are chasing, so you can only go after one, and they go to Coruscant, Bespin, and Endor. Now, if you've never been on this ride, basically how it works. The Millennium Falcon cockpit, there's 6 seats in there. The front 2 gentlemen, they are the pilots. Next 2 are the gunners. And then the last 2 are engineers. Now, as I stated before, gunners just pound one button the whole time to shoot whatever is in front of us. But the engineers would just kind of do whatever the old way it was. But now, the engineers get to choose which planet you go to. One of the engineers, at least. Which is really exciting, in my opinion. It makes engineer just as desirable as pilot, I think. More desirable for me, honestly. I don't give a fuck about driving the thing. So once I realized the engineer is the guy that gets to choose which planet you go to, I was like, I want to be the fucking engineer. So I went and I kept getting in line, because once I'd seen the pre-show, I was just running the single rider line, which in Disneyland at least, the single rider line is a skip the line. There is no fucking single rider line. You don't have to wait at all. So I just ran that thing. I ran it 4 times in one day, and I wasn't even there that long. I was there, I think, like 6 hours total, and I ran it 4 times, and I wrote a bunch of other shit too. So, like, not a problem. And I got engineered the 3 other times. So first time, obviously, as I said, I was a gunner, didn't get to choose the planet. We ended up going to Endor. So we were above Endor in the wreckage of the Death Star 2. That was pretty sick. The next time after that, I got Bespin. Time after that, I was in the engineer spot, but I wasn't on the right side. Like, the other engineer got to choose which planet we go to. So I got Bespin a second time, and then the last one, I got Coruscant. And for my money, Coruscant's the best one. That shit is awesome. I'm a bitch for the prequel aesthetic. I like Coruscant, and it was really cool. I mean, other than that, there's not that much that's different. The locales are just really improved upon. And at the end of the Coruscant one, Grogu force pulls the Millennium Falcon out of danger somehow. And that was pretty cool, because honestly, the presence of Mandalorian and Grogu was not that felt. There's the Mandalorian's like talking to you over the radio, but it's also like not Pedro Pascal, it's some other dude. And Grogu will like show up on the screens to your left and right. And make little noises, and he's like the reason that you can't get all 3 of the guys. You have to go after just one of them. But yeah, it's pretty sick, especially giving the engineer something to do. I thought was really good. So I think the old Millennium Falcon I probably would have had at a 5 or a 6 out of 10, maybe 5.5. And this I would say is a solid 7 out of 10. Part of that could be me being manipulated by my love for Star Wars and the places that you go on the new overlay, whereas I did not give a shit about wherever you go to get the coaxium. The choices for where you go are super cool. Like, I mean, Bespin is gorgeous, obviously. Being in like the Death Star 2 wreckage, it kind of reminds me of like the part in Star Tours where you're in the like Death Star 2 wreckage from episode 9, except it actually makes sense and is good. And yeah, of course, Coruscant is just a beautiful, I love that place, that fake place. So yeah, overall, yeah, 7 out of 10. Good job, Disney. You did something good for once. And now Star Wars Land Galaxy's Edge has 2 rides that I actually will want to go on, instead of like the greatest ride of all time and some mid. Now it's like the greatest ride of all time and a decent ride. So shouts out. I'm always positive on shifting towards maybe a better Galaxy's Edge, because the way it's conceived now is not like, there's so much there, but it's just not like, it just doesn't come together. Anyway, thank you for watching me ramble about this ride. Please hit the subscribe button. Anyway. I still haven't been back on Tatsu since it made me sick. Isn't that fucking lame?